Welcome back to this Let's Play of The Last Remnant. Last time we had some conversations with the Conqueror, who by no means is an evil person and certainly will not be someone we fight at any point in the future. I guarantee it. I guarantee it really, really hard. Anyway, I'm just, chatting to this warrior woman here. You don't really have to talk to her. She doesn't really say anything all that useful. She also will join your party at some point, but that's a while off yet. So, while I'm just spoiling the rest of the game, why don't we continue on? Last time we sort of found out that there's stuff going on in the background, and for now we're just focusing on, Rush's problems, because, I don't know, Dave is bored. And apparently they were moved to a secret location somewhere in this temple. And you can talk to people here and they will kind of explain the religious thing, and they're essentially all... The religion is based around the person who first bound a remnant, and since the remnants, I guess, are useful. Anyway, we will actually have to fight some things in this area. Just going very briefly over how I've set up my party here. I've set it up into two groups. Rush and David are the leaders. To a certain extent, I almost didn't want to use them because they have special abilities that show up when they're leaders, and they kill enemies really fast. And I don't want to kill enemies really fast. I want to kill enemies really slowly and inefficiently, so I can have time to spam skills. Anyway, Rush's group is sort of the combat group, and David's group is sort of the mystic group. So I've put all the sort of fighter types in one and all the mage types in the other. Mostly it just comes up so when you get attack commands like attack with mystic arts, you don't end up with multiple people using arts instead of just one. It's fairly unusual that you can actually order a mix of combat and mystic arts. So you want to keep your groups, as you set them up, fairly uniform as far as what you intend for them to attack with. I put both of the formations in Arrow of Athlum formation, which gives a very small defense bonus, and I've put the sort of high defense people where they'll get the biggest bonus, so hopefully that means we will take a little bit less damage, and it's not really optimized for hitting things, but none of the formations available to me at this point make a big difference. I could probably put everybody in the default melee stance formation, and it really would not make a change. The Catacombs here, there are a couple of things that they just outright force you to fight. No, you can't. The doors don't open until you fight them, so we're just gonna have to deal with it. I'm just gonna use up Mr. Diggs here for the fun of it. I'll just do that off screen. I've left two digs available. There is another morsel in this area. Make sure that I get it. I usually leave two in those cases because, well, they really don't let you choose which point it is, and there are a couple other excavation points that may show up that are not what I want, so I don't want to accidentally hit one of those and not be able to get it. There's not actually anything I really care about at this point. Yeah, this is just a fight against just some very normal enemies. Well, I'm mostly choosing this based on choosing which group I fight based on which arts people are using. It's kind of random, but this will not be a difficult fight. Though, if you look at the morale bar there, you can see that these enemies are considered much higher level than me. And so we start at very poor morale. Now, for them being much higher level than me, you would think that they would be, actually hard. And they're not. because even when they're using flanking attacks to get me, they still don't seem to have much ability to do anything useful. And I'm, again, just being purposefully inefficient about healing so that we get a chance to use some skills. Hopefully we won't, you know, lose a group. That would be kind of embarrassing. More or less, the characters I've chosen because they have healing skills. I think Torgal may be the only one who does not have a healing ability. And Torgal is actually kind of sucking right now. He needs different weapons, and I just don't have them available. And we're really kind of cutting it close here in these fights. But it gives lots of people the opportunity to practice healing. I could have killed these guys a lot faster if I'd actually been trying to kill them, but that's not what I'm trying to do.
Sweet! I know I'm good.
Yeah, we got a couple of stat bonuses. And
At
Russian.
last.
We got the 3rd rank of herb, which means we're very close to getting vivification herb, which is good. Alright, Emma here is asking for this Elbic hide. I intend to... well, she's not actually going to make that upgrade. The way your companion equipment upgrades work is if they have a list of items that they're requesting, and if you find them after a fight, then they'll try and request them there. If you pull those items out of a treasure chest, they will automatically populate into everybody's inventory, which is really useful for some of the late game stuff, though you don't find many things in treasure chests. If you are harvesting, then if you find, like, you know, let's say a light metal or something that somebody needs, they will duplicate it into their inventory, and you will still keep the original. When you take things after fights, it's just sort of a question of whether you give it to them or whether you keep it for yourself. There may be ways that they essentially get from your inventory into people's, essentially your main inventory into their requested items, but generally it has to happen at the time.
I suppose you can't win them all.
For the most part, they have to be in the party when you pick up the item in order for them to get it to count against their limit, which is really annoying, but that's the way it goes. They will also sometimes request entire pieces of equipment when you, essentially every time you walk out onto the world map, there's a chance that they will make that request. And usually it's, for a couple of the characters, it's much more efficient to hand them fully upgraded pieces of equipment, well, fully upgraded pieces of equipment, rather than try to upgrade them directly. That fight back there was one of few that I'm going to do just because I can't avoid it. Other than that, I'm going to go to some pretty crazy lengths. Well, maybe not too crazy. I may actually just end up fighting a couple enemies here because, well, it starts getting tedious to avoid them after a while. If I remember right, this is a trap. Yep. This is another forced set of fights against a new set of enemies. Before I engage them, I'm going to save. And I'm not saving because this is a really hard fight. I'm just saving because we're out of time, and we'll see you in the next episode.